Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited today to be bringing you the best self-development books that you've got to read in 2021. Now for me, self-development is kind of all-encompassing. It could be business, finance, productivity, mental health, just anything that can help you improve yourself as a person. So I've got 7 of my favorite books in that genre here today to share with you, and as always, they will be linked below in the description box, so if you want to pick one of them up, all you gotta do is click down there and check them out. Let's start off with a New York Times bestseller. This is the book Essentialism. If you are a business owner or running those circles, online entrepreneurship circles, you may have heard of this book already because it is a very popular book, and when you start reading it, you'll be able to tell why. With so much overwhelm and anxiety and all these types of feelings in today's world, especially if you're an entrepreneur, it is really important to pare down your tasks to what is actually essential. Not what you think is essential or what people are telling you is essential, what is actually moving the needle for your business and frankly, your life. This book has helped me do that in so many ways, and another thing that I really enjoy about this book is that it does include several visuals to kind of help illustrate exactly what you need to be thinking about when you are learning to practice essentialism. I loved this book. It really changed the way that I started to approach my business after I read it. So especially if you're a creative or a business owner, you need to pick this up if you don't have it already. All right, the second book is a heavy one, and I want to encourage you to read it if you've ever struggled with mental health issues or past traumas, anything like that. This book, in my opinion, is an essential read. It's called The Curse of the Gifted Child, and I actually don't have it with me because I lent it to someone, but I'll pop it up for you here on the screen. I actually tweeted about this when I was reading it and said something like, holy shit, this book helped me more than years of therapy, which is kind of true. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think therapy is great. I think I just haven't found the right therapist yet, but this book really truly had some light bulb moments for me, and I feel like that's saying a lot because I tend to read a lot about mental health. I have tons of mental health books. I've done tons of work on myself in the mental health realm or whatever. So the fact that I got so much out of this book and just started recommending it to everybody, it really says something. And you know what? It's not really what I thought it would be based on the title. I thought it would be like, oh, if you were a creative kid, you know, here's how to use that, or here's maybe some setbacks you experienced. It's really about trauma and how that impacts the rest of your life. So if that sounds like something that you could find helpful, highly recommend. All right, on to self-development book number 3, which is this guy right here, The Body Keeps the Score. Again, this is a New York Times bestseller, so maybe something that you've already heard of if you enjoy these types of books. This is also kind of a heavy read, but I really think it is worth the read. It is super informative, and it's all about how trauma reshapes the brain and really dictates the way that you act and the way that you feel and the way that you think. This book has a lot of stories in it from the author about their work with their patients, a lot of it regarding trauma and mental health specifically, so you may find it triggering, but I know for me, even if I do find some of it triggering, it's kind of worth it as long as I can kind of emotionally handle this kind of shit. Then yeah, it's a good read. It's probably not something that I'm gonna read all the way through and just do it while I'm like chilling, like outside with some tea or in a bath or whatever, because it's very heavy. I don't know if I can say that enough, but it is something that I'm gonna commit to finishing because I think I'm gonna benefit from it a lot. All right, you guys. When I tell you this next book changed my life, it changed my fucking life. I'm not even kidding. And that book is The Art of Less Doing, One Entrepreneur's Formula for a Beautiful Life. You need this book. If you are an entrepreneur, an aspiring entrepreneur, you gotta get this book. It is incredibly important and it will save you from a lot of pain and struggles that I went through growing my business from poor decision making. Like, I shit you not, this is one of the most helpful business books I have ever read, and I do not say that lightly. Some of the concepts in here are things you may already kind of know, and you're like, oh, that's kind of common sense, but the way it is explained and the way is talked about as far as how to actually implement it and how that can improve your life is what has been a game changer for me. So specifically, after I read this book, I was planning on doing a big launch and another big promo in the final quarter of 2020. After I read this, I decided to cancel all of that, and I totally shifted my priorities in my business. I made several big business decisions based directly on the advice inside this book. And again, not all of it is super groundbreaking shit that you haven't heard before, but the way it is explained and some of the examples in the book I think are what can be really, really helpful. I actually gifted this book to my little brother. You guys may have seen him here on my channel way back in the day because he is starting his own business, and I think this will help him avoid a lot of the struggles that I went through as a beginner business owner. So if you're a beginner business owner, you gotta pick this up. All right, on to the next book, which is kind of a mindset classic. You guys let me know, comment if you have read this book before. It is You Are a Badass. There's another book like this one called You Are a Badass at Making Money, I believe, and it's by the same author. I really enjoy both books, but start with this one. I think everybody should read this book. And if you're like me, when I started out running a business and getting into self-development, you may be like, mindset doesn't really matter, this looks kind of cheesy or whatever. Totally get that. Like, that was me, 100%. However, what I've learned in my many years of running a business, as well as coaching beginner business owners and seeing who makes it work and who doesn't, is that mindset is key because it actually impacts all of the practical steps of starting a business. So I'm going to throw a graphic up on the screen that I actually created for my email newsletter, which, by the way, get on my email list if you're not on it, below in the description box. But this graphic is all about how your mindset can stop you from living the life you want as a writer, which is something I talk about a lot here on my channel. So it starts with your thought. Others are so much better than me. I'm intimidated. I shouldn't even try. So your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions. If you feel scared of rejection and failure, you're never going to take any action, and the result is that you will stay stuck in your day job. You will not live out your dream life, and it all started with those thoughts and feelings that translated into actions and results. Now, obviously, this graphic is specifically directed toward my email list, which is a freelance writing and copywriting tips newsletter, but this applies to any area of your life. If you start with those negative thoughts about yourself, about others, etc., you're gonna end up self-sabotaging. This book is gonna help you out with that a lot. Again, if you think it's cheesy, if you're like, mindset doesn't matter, that's stupid, just give it a chance. Be open-minded because it could actually literally change your life. This next book is an essential for anyone who is selling things online, especially if you are a copywriter or freelance writer. You need to have this book. It is called Influence. And I actually first got this as an audiobook, but it was so good. I was like, I think I want to get the physical copy as well, because with books like this, I really like to go through and highlight the key points on the pages so I can go back and quickly reference them. Either way you get it though, I think you're really going to enjoy it. I do have a link below for Audible if you want to check that out and pick this up as an audiobook, as well as a link for getting the paperback copy like this one. But yeah, this is all about the 6 universal principles of persuasion. It gives really great stories and examples of how this works. So if you're into psychology at all or anything like that, I think you are really going to love this book. And again, if you're an online business owner, especially a copywriter, you gotta pick this up. It is super helpful and super informative. All right, on to book number 7, which is a book with a very scammy title, but in spite of that is an incredibly helpful and amazing book. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. If you don't follow Ramit, you need to be following him. This book is excellent. You have got to pick this up. I've given a copy of this to so many people in my life because this is just that shit that you don't learn in school, but you really should know. Savings accounts, Roth IRAs, 401ks, basically everything you need to do to get your money right. And that is super important, especially right now with everything going on in the world. You want to have control over your money. There's a lot in here about conscious spending, saving, and investing. And something I really enjoy specifically about this philosophy is that it doesn't tell you to just, cut out coffee or, save 50 cents here and there. It really focuses on those bigger steps, the bigger moves, the $100, $1,000, $10,000 decisions, not just the penny decisions, the things that can actually help you move the needle in your financial life. And I love that this book is very, very visual as well. It really breaks everything down nicely with little boxes and graphs and charts and tells you everything you need to know seriously to get started taking control of your money. And actually, funny story, a few years ago, I flew out to Philadelphia to shoot a business reality show type of video for Ramit's Growth Lab YouTube channel. It actually never went live, but it was a really good experience and something that I was super happy to be involved with. I'll throw a clip in here or link out to it or something so you guys can kind of see that. But yeah, awesome book, really good financial philosophy, and I think everybody should pick this up. Alright my friends, that was the last book, so that means it is time for Tito to pick out his favorite comment of the day.
It's Tito's comment of the day. Yeah.
This comment was left on my Meet My Chihuahuas video from a long ass time ago, and it says, I am considering getting another Chihuahua. I want another Chihuahua to keep my Chihuahua company. I love that idea. If you guys didn't know, I have this guy and then another Chihuahua, which is my husband's dog basically, but it's like our dog still. We love Chihuahuas, and one day I want to have a big beautiful farm with like 20 Chihuahuas running around on it. That is like the fucking dream right there. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It lets me know, and it also actually really helps my channel out, and I really appreciate it. Comment below and let me know which one of these books you are most excited to read. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.